Now in this we are going to look at calculation under percentage error. We look at some questions, and at the end of this particular lesson you will be comfortable and you will understand everything on percentage error and how to solve questions on percentage error. So let's move on. I'll prepare some question ahead for you. So let's move to our board and see. Now let's look at this one. They said a girl gave a change of 1.1 naira 15 kobo instead of 1 naira 25 kobo to a customer. Calculate a percentage error. Now what you should know in percentage error, it is you ignore the minus. Ignore the minus, you don't need it. But why in some cases they will insert the minus, but I will advise you just find the absolute value of the error. Now if the mistake, you can make it a mistake. Now you know in our previous class I told you that percentage error is the error the person make, or you can interchange it, no problem. Minus what? Minus actual what? Actual value over what? Over actual value times 100%. So this is percentage error formula. Now the first one, now the error the person make is that instead of her giving a change of 1.25, it gave change of 1.50. This is the error first. Error here is 1.15. Now the money she should give the customer is 1.0. This is the actual money minus what? Minus 1.25 all over, then over what? Actual value, that's 1.25 times what? Times 100%. So times 100%. So when we look at the solution to this, so 1.15, let me use my calculator here so you can do it. Let me see. So 1.15 minus 1.25, that will give us 0.1. That is minus 0.1. That is minus 0.1. And I told you to ignore the what? To ignore the minus. So times what? Times 100%. So when you find the absolute value of that, is removing this minus, you have 0.1 over 1.25 times 100%. So the percentage error of the girl, it will be what? 0.1 divided by what? 1.25 times what? Times 100. That is 8%. So the error the girl make is what? Is 8%. So when you multiply this, so that is that. Now let's move on to the next one. The next one says that, let's look at it. They said move it up. Instead of recording number 1.3 for the radius of your tube, a student recorded 1.32, find the percentage error. This one is also simple. Instead of, this is the actual value here. Now instead of recording, this is what the student should record, but she recorded, or he recorded this. So the error he made is that he recorded this. So percentage error here, which is number 2. Percentage error is what? That would be what? The error he made, that is 1.32 minus what? The actual value is 1.23. 1.23 over what? The actual value is 1.23 times what? Times 100%. So with this now, so when you do this now, 1.32 minus what? Minus 1.23, that is 0.09. That is 0.09 over 1.23 times what? Times 100%. So what we get here is that divided by what? 1.23, just times what? Times 100. When you do this, you get 7.31 as our final answer. 7.31%. So this is the percentage error. So let me clean this. I can put this down. So let me clean this so I can do the last one there, the third one. There are a lot of questions we will solve under this thing. I just want to I want us to so that by the time, I think it's 7 questions like that, by the time you solve these questions, believe me, you have no problem with percentage error again. That is it. So let's move on to the last one. They said a stick of length 1.75 meter was measured by a boy as 1.80 meter. Find the percentage error in his measurement. Now, the actual length, a stick, this is the actual length. This is what the stick measure. But the boy measured it as 1. This is the error of the boy. So this will now be what? Percentage error here now. It will be what? 1.80 minus what? 1.75 over what? Over, then the actual length is 1.75. 1.75 times what? Times 100%. So you have now, so what you have is that 1.80 minus what? Minus 1.75. That is 0.05. 0.05 divided by 1.75 times what? Times 100%. So when you multiply this 0.05 divided by 1.75 times 100, so you get 2.86 when you approximate to 2 decimal places. 2.86%. So this is what you will get as your answer. So let me clear this and let me what? This is it. So let me move on. Let's look at another question, some complex question more. From the question here, I will attach this notes to this particular tutorial so that you can make use of the particular note. So let's look at another question. I'm going to give you, okay, we took from 4 to, so let's look at from we look at 5, 6, 7. So let's look at 3, 4, 5. Let's look at this one. Let's look at 4 and let's look at 3. We did 5, 6, 7. Is it 5, 6, 7? Yes. So we are going to look at, let's look at 3 and 4. Then we now look at 2 and 3. So let me take it from the bottom. I don't like what I do like from the bottom. Okay, now let's look at this together. I'm going to copy this and send it to our board. So here, let's look at it together. If I've copied it directly, you may not have seen it. Now, the first one here, this one looks a little bit tricky. Now they said a student, let's look at this. They said a student measured the length of a room to obtain the measurement of 3.99 meter. If the error of his measurement was 5% and his own measurement was smaller than the length, what is what? They now ask that what is the true length of the room. So how do you calculate this? Now they ask us what is the actual length of the room. That's what you're asking of now. Now what you are going to do now is that you are going to use the what do I call it? You're going to use, this is what you're going to use. It's going to be this particular error. This is what? So percentage error. So this is what we're going to do. It's going to be, sorry for this. So it's going to be the actual length, because it is what I say is what I said. It was smaller because of this was smaller. So the actual length will come first. Minus. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Minus what? Minus what? Minus the error. Minus the measurement error. That would be 3.99. Remember, is what is smaller, was smaller. So I told that to be negative, smaller than that the original one. All over what? All over the actual length is what? You don't know, because they asked us what is the true length of the room, which is the actual length of the room, times what? Times 100%. Now the percentage error given here is what? Is 5. So it's going to be 5 equals to, let me say actual length A minus then 3.99. You know you are multiplying by 100. So let me put it in brackets so that the 100 can affect both of them because it's binomial. All over what? All over A. So what you have now, you have 100 times A is 100A. So 5 equals to 100A minus 399. When you multiply 100 times 3.99, you get 399. All over what? All over A. This is over 1. All you do is cross multiply. So you have 5A equals to 100A minus 399. So you take this, you bring it here, you take this, anyhow you want to do, you can bring this one, because this one is minus, you can take it here, you bring this 5a to come and meet this 100a. So when you take minus 399 to this side, becomes plus. That we have what 399 equals to, so that would be 100a. You know, this one is an invisible plus that is there. When it cross invisible plus, when it cross becomes minus, so minus what? Minus 5a. So you have 399 equals to 100a minus 5a, and is 95a. So you are looking for the actual length. So the true length you divide both sides by what? By 95, because you are looking for the actual length. That will be 399 divided by what? Divided by 95. So 399 divided by 95, let's do it together. 399 divided by 95, you get 4.2. So your answer here is what? The actual length is what? 4.2 meter. So this is your final answer. So let's move on to the next one. This one, I think this one is a little bit easier and simple. You can do this one. You can pause the video and do the second one, the next one by yourself. Let me see how you're going to go about it. But I'll be glad if you can do it without my assistance. I'll be glad. So let's move on. So in this one now, let's look at this together. They said a sales girl gave a change of 1.15 instead of 1.25. So it means the error the sales girls make is now instead of it gave a change of, this is the change it gave, but instead this is the actual change it should have given. So I can just say that what percentage error here equals to, so the percentage error will be what, because this is the error she made, 1.15 minus what, 1.25. In this case you can what, can ignore the minus, no problem. But what you are concerned about is the actual, you must get the actual length. So this is the actual naira, actual money she should have given. So that will be 1.25 times what, times 100%. So when you do this now, percentage error, that will be 1.15 minus 1.25. that is, I think we have minus 0. What, minus 0.1 over 1.25 times what, times 100%. So I think these ones are disturbing. Let me just clean part of this. This is taking us time. Don't like it. Now let's go. Now what you are going to do here, I told that you can look for the absolute value of the top number. This is the minus 0.1. The absolute value is just, you ignore the minus. You can now have what, 0.1 over what, 1.25 times what, times 100%. So 0.1 divided by 1.25 times 100, 0.1 divided by 1.25 times 100, you have 8. So your percentage error is what, is 8%. So that is that. So let's look for another question. Let me clear this. Now let me go to the questions that are here. Now hey, this one is more even complex. Now let's look at this one. This one number okay, I think these two, then we'll be done for. Is there another one? I think there's another one again. Let's just look at this one. This one look a little bit more complex. So let's look at it. I'm gonna copy this, go to my board and just paste it there. Now look at this question. Now you can try it on your own. I'll be very glad if you can solve it on your own. Now the question says that a man bought 5 reams of duplicating paper, and this is the 5 reams of duplicating paper, each of which was supposed to contain 480 sheets. Do you get that now? The actual number of sheets in the packet was 435, 420, 405, 450, and 440. It means these are the errors in the packet. This is the actual what do you call this? The actual number of reams. Number of paper in a ream should be 480. Now to get the actual value now, let me use my marker. Now the actual value here now, the actual value, it should be, it's 480. Each of them contain 480, so, and there are 5 in numbers. That is 480 times what? Times 5. And 480 times 5 will give us what? 480 times 5, that will give us 2,400. 2,400. Now the error they mean, these are the error now. So you have, these are the error. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 435. 435 plus 420 plus 405 plus 415 plus 440. This is 440. So when you add it all together, if you have tried that, with 2,115 what? 15 sheets or 15 paper, anyhow you want to call it. Now to get the precision and the error now, the error, you just minus this from this, then the error now, the error here, that is the first thing you have to do. That will be what? 2,400 minus what? 115. So 2,400 minus 2,115, that is 115, that is 285. So this is 285. This is the actual error now. Just like saying error over, now the percentage error now, to get the percentage error here now, this is the error, right? That is what you can say, just 285 straightforward. Instead of doing this one again at the top, I've done this for you here. This is here all over. Now what is the actual number, the actual papers in the rim? Each of them should contain what? 480. So it means it should be over what? Over 480, right? This is the actual one. It is not each of these. This was the actual what on the actual duplicate paper in a rim, times what? Times 100 what? 100%. So when you do this together, so you have 285 divided by what? Divided by 480 times 100. So you have 59.3. 59.3. That's a 3 when you approximate 38. Now they said what they said is that calculate correct the nearest one of the average percentage error for the packet of paper. Average, now these numbers there, they are 5. There are 5 numbers there. They are, because there are 5 in. So each of them, average of each of them will now divided by what? Divided by what? Divided by what? This answer is divided by 5, because this is all of them. Now you are looking for the average of each of them. That would be what? 59.58 divided by what? Divided by 5. That is 11 point what? 11.875. Now the question said you should approximate to what? It did ask to approximate, yeah, correct to the nearest whole number. Nearest whole number, as I said earlier, this is up to 5. Make it 1. Add to this one, make it 2. So that is what? That is 12. So do you get that now? So that is what? That is 12%. Let me put percent at the back. So for average of each of them is what? Is 12%. Now that is that for that. Now next, number B. Now they now said number B. They said number B, they said if the agreed price for full rim was 35 naira, calculate the nearest naira correct amount by which the buyer was cheated. So by which buyer was cheated now is you have to like this is what you are going to do. Know that this is the average of each of them. So each of them, average of each. So now what the buyer was cheated, that would be what? 285 over what? Over 480. And they said the buyer paid what? He paid what? 35 naira for the full rim, times what? Times 35 naira, which is the full rim. So what I'm going to do now is that when you divide this, so 285 divided by 480 times what? Times 35. That will give us 20.78. 20.78 naira. 20.78 naira. Now said it should what? Nearest naira. Nearest naira which give us what? That is what? Nearest naira. Who can tell what nearest naira? This is up to 5. Make it 1. That is 21. Now this is the importance of that significant figures and decimal place I taught you earlier. So this is how to calculate this first one. And the second one now, let's look at the second one. You can pause the video. Let's look at the second one together. Now they said Mr. Kofi sold an article let's check. Sorry, I don't wish to make this tutorial long like this, but I just have to, like, for the sake of those people that may not, that may find it difficult to understand percentage error. We didn't by this you should be able to understand what percentage error is. Now I think this space will be enough for it. Now they said Mrs. Kofi sold an article for 7.7 naira 50 kobo instead of 12 naira 75 kobo. It means this is the amount, this is the actual amount that she should have said the article, but she sold it for this is the error she made. So I can just go like the percentage error here equals to what? I can just say what? 7.5. Now I'm still going to ignore the minus what? 12.75 all over what? The actual length is 12.75. 12.75 times what? Times 100%. So you can do this. So we have what? 7.5 minus what? Minus 12.75. That is 5.25. That is minus 5.25 minus 5.25. And I told you to ignore the minus. But it's just like what you asked to find is just percentage error. So there's no need of writing minus something, because either you move up or you go down. So that would be what? 5.25 divided by what? 12.75 times what? Times 100. That is what? 41.17. 41.18%. This is what? Percentage error of what? Of Mrs. Kofi. So this is the end of percentage error. So we are going to move to our fourth week. That was what we are going to have next. Thank you very much. Please subscribe and refer your friends to my channel. Bye bye.